It's another Wellness Wednesday, and this is your Lady Lily on your Everyday Counselor. And today I'm going to be sharing an interesting topic with you, which is, guess what? Sexual addiction. And I'll be sharing some helpful tips to help addicts to overcome the sexual addiction. And I know some people will say, is there hope for an addict, a sexual addict? Is there medication? Is there care? Just sit tight and listen to these tips that I'm going to be sharing with you, and you can share with others. You know what? There's no problem without a solution. Some people think some of these problems are spiritual, but most of them are actually medical. All you need to do is step up your game and find solution. So sit tight, I have a presentation, and on this presentation you are going to catch up on the tips that is required on how to overcome sexual addiction.
Sexuality. Presently, sex addiction is not recognized as a diagnosable condition in DSM-5. As a result of this, most people describe the fact that it develops like substance addiction.
Questions of opium.
Sexual addiction is a psychological disorder, argue that the behavior may simply be a manifestation of depression or anxiety. The sexual activity could be an attempt to remedy that psychological distresses, even though it tends to create its own array of negative consequences, from financial problems to the disruption of relationships and careers. Many clinicians believe that the best treatment for worries about sexual impulsivity is psychotherapy that explores topics like the individual's feelings, beliefs about self, and past sexual experiences.
Hypersexuality. Next, please. Hypersexuality definition. Hypersexuality is a condition in which a person experiences trust, source, sexual impulse, and urge that are persistent and uncontrollable. This can lead to sexual behavior that are repetitive and become the central focus of a person's life. As a result, people may neglect other areas such as their personal, family, work, or school life. Hypersexuality describes a person's inability to control their sexual behavior, impulse, impulse, or urge to the point of causing distress in their personal work or in their personal work or school life. Hypersexuality is extremely frequent or suddenly increased libido. It is controversial whether it should be included as a clinical diagnosis used by mental healthcare professionals. Nymphomania and satyriasis were terms previously used for the condition in women and men, respectively.
Nympho.
Sexual fantasies, urges, or behaviors consume you mentally, emotionally, and/or physically.
Next is Lydia.
Yes, Lydia is here. So, my name is Lydia, and today on sexual addiction, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips, some helpful tips to overcome sexual addiction. So here are 9 helpful tips, and one of them is accountability, partnering, predicting, distractions, exercising, securing, helping, praying, and seeking help. So I'll quickly tell you more about each one of them. Accountability. Similar to sponsor mentoring in a 12 steps program, seek out support through family, friends, peer support groups, professional counseling. Make sure that several people in your life are aware of your addiction, including your triggers and goals. This will help particularly in social situations when facing temptations. Just like my classmate said, she said, admitting it is one of the biggest problems. So once you've admitted it and you can share this with your family. That is one of the first steps to actually overcoming your sexual addiction. Number 2 is partnering. You need someone to walk through this process of recovery with you. This person should be an addict as well, or at least someone who has recovered from some type of addiction. Number 3 is predicting and keeping a record to track your behavior patterns. This you can call a prediction journal or any other name that fits your overall goals. The main point is for reflection upon progress versus regression. So number 4 is distraction. Identify what works for you. Everyone has preferred interests, passions, and self-soothing techniques. If you have trouble with creating effective distractions, then seek out advice. Always distract yourself away from any potential sexual exposure that could be triggering. So another point is exercising. This stomps out depression and acts as a form of antidepressant that stimulates endorphins. That's the happy cells in your brain. The endorphins also get released when you feed into your addiction. Therefore, using exercise can replace it. Number 6 is securing. We all have items that we hold on to for consolation purposes. The sensation from attachment, security, and safety can be felt when we have our consolation devices, our consoling devices. Whether it is a pet or a childhood keepsake, these items can be very helpful when fighting against an urge to relapse. So number 7, helping. There is power in knowledge. Try reading books about this topic, such as Out of the Shadows, Understanding Sexual Addiction by Patrick Kearns. Learn and teach others, because an expert in how to overcome sex addiction, you will notice a shift of hope with your struggles once you start helping someone else. Another point, which is my 8th point here, is praying. Whether you do or do not believe in God or a higher power, there is a sense of relief you will experience after trying or screaming out, "Help!" For those of you who are believers, then you know that prayer can be powerful. Ask others to pray with you when possible. My 9th point is to seek out help. Contact a health professional for individual and or for family counseling. Another great resource is support groups where you can meet other people experiencing the same struggles with your addictions. So look out for support groups that actually bring other people struggling with addictions as well. This will be very helpful. Thank you very much for listening.
But I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is